Boyer.
One of the questions that we keep asking that we can't get an answer is, how does Erika Kirk know Tyler Boyer?
All right, let's dive right into this. We're talking about a story that's being called The Architect and the Widow, and it's all centered on Turning Point USA. You know, one of the biggest conservative youth groups in the country. A really controversial dossier has popped up, and it's filled with these anonymous claims. We're talking betrayal, manipulation, even a hostile takeover. So what we're going to do here is break down exactly what this source is claiming, because it paints a picture that is wildly different from the official story.
Snake of the ticket line was a guy who looked very familiar. I had no idea who he was.
And yeah, the contrast is pretty stark when you look at it. On one hand, you've got Erika Kirk publicly saying, "I didn't date for 5 years." Simple enough. But then, on the other hand, the dossier claims, and says it has photos to back it up, that she was very publicly dating a guy named Cabot Phillips during that exact same time. This is really the first thread. The whole narrative starts to unravel.
Now, check out how the timeline puts these pieces together. The source claims that in the very same month Erika was supposedly dating Cabot Phillips, well, Cabot was already deep inside Charlie Kirk's inner circle. Then, fast forward just 1 year, and TPUSA's own COO, a guy named Tyler Boyer, sets up this so-called job interview between Erika and Charlie. The dossier lays this out to make a very clear point. This meeting was no accident.
All right, now the story jumps forward and it gets really intense. We're talking September 5th, 2024, the day everything changed. The dossier zooms in on what happened right after the fatal attack on Charlie Kirk. It alleges that in the middle of all that chaos, there was a swift, calculated move to seize power.
And this is where the source really focuses on the actions of Charlie's chief of staff, a guy named Mikey McCoy. The allegation is pretty shocking. When the shot rang out, McCoy didn't run to help his boss. He supposedly bolted, ran away. And what was his first move? According to the dossier, it wasn't to call 911. It was to call Erika. The dossier presents this as, extremely suspicious behavior.
What sort of widow wouldn't want people to investigate the assassination of their husband?
So in the immediate aftermath, right in the middle of all that turmoil after Charlie's death, the dossier claims a new alliance forms between Erika and Mikey McCoy. All of a sudden, McCoy's power within TPUSA starts to skyrocket, and Cabot Phillips, the guy the source says was the original mastermind behind this whole thing, well, he gets completely sidelined.
Okay, and this is where the dossier starts to get into some really wild territory, almost like a spy thriller. It starts connecting the dots, laying out this trail of what it calls coded messages, super suspicious behavior, and even secret meetings that allegedly took place just days before the attack.
So the dossier lays out this whole web of suspicious stuff. And some of it is, well, it's pretty out there. Like it points to a pizza tattoo on Cabot's inner lip and calls it a code. But then it makes a much, much more serious claim. It says there were eyewitnesses who saw both Erika and Cabot at Fort Huachuca. That's a U.S. Army intelligence post, just 2 days before the attack. And this lines up perfectly with Cabot suddenly disappearing from his popular show that same week. So, you've heard the alleged how, but what about the why? Why would anyone do all this? Well, according to the dossier, the motive is as old as time: money and power. The source argues this was never just about a relationship. It was about orchestrating a hostile takeover of a massive, multi-million-dollar organization. Get this: $10 million. That is the jaw-dropping amount of money the source claims just vanished from Turning Point Action, which is the group's political fundraising arm. This huge number is presented as the central motive. The implication is pretty clear. Charlie Kirk was taken out because he started asking too many questions about where all that money was going. Then the dossier tries to connect the dots on the financial side. It points right back to Tyler Boyer. Remember him? The COO who allegedly set up that first meeting between Charlie and Erika? Well, he was also the manager of Turning Point Action. And the dossier claims that Boyer put Erika's own mother on the board of that exact same organization. You know, the one that was suddenly missing millions of dollars?
She kind of brought this up, and she's like, a lot of people want to know why my mother was put on that board, but it was just because we needed a familiar name.
And that pretty much brings us to today. The alleged plot worked, but maybe not everyone got what they wanted out of the deal. So the dossier turns its attention to the one person it claims is the ultimate wild card, the one who could make this whole house of cards collapse, the original architect, who now feels he's been cut out. The dossier's final big claim is all about the fallout from this alleged power shift.
I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was.
It suggests that Cabot Phillips, after being pushed aside for Mikey McCoy, he's not happy. He's no longer on the team. The source paints him as a man who is ready to go scorched earth, threatening to leak stuff that would just completely destroy Erika's public image as the heartbroken, grieving widow.
And so, this is the big, lingering question the dossier leaves us with. Is Cabot Phillips the smoking gun? Is he the one person who holds the key to this entire alleged conspiracy? Or, and this is what the source speculates, will he be silenced before he ever gets the chance to speak? It's a huge question mark that hangs over this whole absolutely explosive story.